Hello, it's Mike Rhyner of Your Dark Companion here, wanting to thank you all for joining us on patreon.com throughout the year, or that portion of the year that we've been doing this. Also, don't forget to check out the Sunset Lounge. There you can find podcasts such as The Clubhouse. The Clubhouse is your one-stop shop for all things sports, pop culture, entertainment, pro wrestling. Who knows what else these guys might get into. I love these guys. They're great. Since 2010, they brought their knowledge and passion for these subjects and so much more to the internet in a way that is entertaining and engaging. Their show is family friendly, so it's okay to sit down with grandma and be a part of all their shenanigans. They are the Clubhouse. They're at the Sunset Lounge.
Nobody would have thought that I would be the one. Rhyner, sports talk. Baseball, 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 baseball.
Oh, with the big mic. Oh, okay. All right, yeah. Okay, now I get it.
We had a lightning strike, boys. What happened over there, Grego? We had a little lightning strike right outside the window.
All right. Here's a tip for all these Americano League teams.
Wait, you said tip.
Yeah, tip.
Okay.
With a P.
Keep jamming.
The ticket, colon, nothing but a big Gen X jerk-off sake.
This is a cool night or what?
Although somebody would hear that and go, bullshit.
I'm back, bitches.
Hello, everybody. It is another episode of Your Dark Companion. It is Monday, the 26th of May. This is Memorial Day, they tell us. Usually, I think of Memorial Day on the 31st of May, maybe in certain circumstances, the 30th, but no. It's the 26th because it's got to bump up against a Sunday, make it a long weekend for everybody. Well, I hope you're enjoying this long weekend. I hope you're enjoying the way Memorial Day has been butchered because of you. I am Mike Rhyner, and we are here inside the nurturing biosphere of the mothership. Shoopy is here, Ashley is here, Mickey and Becca are here. And today, so is the great Ted Emrich.
Yeah.
Hi, Ted.
Mike, I'm so glad to be here for your Memorial Day extravaganza. And
Man, I can't believe you agreed to do this on this day.
I can't believe you asked me to do this. You must be really hurting for guests if you're asking for me. But it's an honor to be here. I love this space. This is really cool.
Okay. He says we're hurting for guests. For those who may not be familiar with the breadth of this man's work, I'm just going to read from his bio.
Whoa.
No, please don't do that.
This is the stuff that this man does or has done. Ted Emrich joined ESPN in 2015 and serves as a play-by-play announcer for college football, college basketball, and high school basketball.
Yeah, don't forget that.
He also handles play-by-play for the NFL, college football, and college basketball for Westwood One. He has called multiple Olympic events during the network's exclusive coverage from London, Sochi, and Rio, including track and field at the 2016 Olympics. He has also anchored coverage of the Masters on Westwood One since 2015.
The Masters. It's exactly how I say it.
Everything, haven't you? He really has done just about everything. That's amazing,
and
man.
now I'm here, Mike.
And
my
now you're
career
here.
is complete.
Now you're here.
Or on the downhill slope.
No, man, this is an absolute honor to be here with you, Mike. It's a pleasure.
I'm very, very pleased to have you, and believe me, if it weren't on Memorial Day, we would have gotten you sooner or later. I'm just glad we're getting you in sort of, I guess, what must be a little bit of a down period in your schedule a little bit.
Yeah, it is. It's nice that it's not year round. It's not 365, and it can be for many. with a family, with a wife and an 8-year-old daughter, it is nice to have pockets of time, and especially in the summer, where it is not always getting on a plane and going to the next ball game. As fun as that is, I do love it. From August through April, it's extremely busy, but now's the time of year where you can sit back, you can take some trips, you can reconnect, and so it's great to be here today.
In your busy time, how do you balance that out with being, as far as I would assume, a really good husband and father? How do you balance out that life?
The check's in the mail, by the way.
Hell yeah.
So you would assume that, huh?
Yeah.
I assume, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, my wife, Kate, is incredible. Everything that she does when I am on the road and you're getting on that flight on a Friday morning or a Thursday night for a college football game on Saturday, and you're not getting back until Sunday morning. And listen, you're a team, and you communicate, you collaborate, and that's how you have to approach it. And so when I am home, that time is sacred. That time where, yes, I can do this with our daughter and be a part of this, whatever activity it may be, ballet, lacrosse, or whatever. She just finished up second grade, but yeah, I mean, of course, it's a challenge. It's a unique schedule. I love what I do, but I love my family, and I'm so thankful that Kate is as amazing as she is.
Hell yeah.
And now I generally like to start these things by having the guests tell us just how they got to where they are, what drew them into it. But in your case, I know full well what drew you into it. And I want to get into him.
Yeah. Who's him? Who could that be?
That larger-than-life figure known as Roger Emrich.
Absolutely.
Your dad, who meant the world to me, and everybody who knew him were fortunate enough to wind up in his orbit at one time or another. I want to do that a little bit later on, so let's just jump into the here and now a little bit.
All right.
Who was the first to take notice of you?
Outside of my dad?
Yeah, outside of Roger.
Yeah, man. It would have to be the former boss of Westwood One Sports, gentleman by the name of Howie Deneroff. While yes, my dad plays such a huge part, and hey, people can say Nepo baby all they want. That's fine. That goes for anybody who grows up in this business and follows in those footsteps to a degree. But this person had no idea who my dad was.
Yeah.
And that's what I always appreciated. So in high school and through college, I was a spotter for whatever Cowboys game might be on Westwood One. Sunday night football, Thursday night, standalone game, all the great announcers that Westwood One has employed over the years. Now if you tune into a NFL playoff game, you're going to hear the voices of Kevin Harlan or Ian Eagle or Kevin Kugler, so on and so forth. And when I was in high school, I was the guy in the booth that Westwood One hired to be the spotter, be that second set of eyes for the play-by-play announcer, that person who points out on their sheet of paper who made the tackle,
right?
Who made the catch, who forced the fumble, who recovered it and is running the other way for a touchdown. And at that age, that was so beneficial for me to see how these top-flight play-by-play announcers work. As a result, I have a brushing of shoulders moment with Howie Deneroff, who would go on the road and produce some of these games.
Right.
And he took an interest in me and asked me to send him a tape of my work. This was when I was in college now. I was graduating from North Texas. I went there to be a sports broadcaster because of their exceptional program led by Bill Mercer. Rest in peace. And Howie would always get on the phone with me for the next few years, and here's what I like, here's what you can work on. And eventually he hired me.
So he coached you up.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. You know, and again, in addition to my dad and all of that, but Howie, I owe so much to him because so often in the business, Mike, you know all about it. It's politics, it's relationships, and that's part of it. You have to network. I still have to do that,
which makes it really no different than anything
else. Of course, people hire who they know.
Yeah.
It's a truth. It's fundamental. And that's great. What I always respected about Howie, and I say that again just in the past tense because Howie is no longer with Westwood One, but I'm not where I am without him because he would listen to my high school football tape when I'm doing McKinney ISD football on 97.5 KLAK or Coppell Cowboys football on 660 AM K-Sky. This is before I'm hired by ESPN, before he has put me on the air. And he told me one time after he hired me, if you can call a game like that at that level where you're not getting the game notes that you would for a college football game or an NFL game and all of the help from a sports information director or PR professional, whatever it may be, that help these teams out, if you can still call that game at a high level and your homework shines through, you can absolutely do this.
Yeah.
And he has hired many others like that. I'm glad that I didn't have to. Well, I've got to be at a higher level before I get to this network level. Yeah, the work is the work,
right?
And I always appreciated that. That's how he viewed it.
I remember Roger would talk you up quite a bit as you were matriculating. Now, I'd never heard you.
Imagine that.
Yeah, I'd never heard you or anything like that. But he would always tell us every time I would run into him that.
My boy Teddy.
My boy Teddy's a fast riser. He is on his way. He is going somewhere.
Oh, man. And about that, Mike, I loved that my dad always tuned in. It didn't matter when I started to do games on Westwood One or ESPN. I'm doing a game that nobody's watching, okay? Mm-hmm. And, it's on the West Coast and it's late and it's on ESPNU or it's a Westwood One game, in the Pac-12 or something. Who's listening to this? Who's dialed into this? And I still get that text from my dad.
Yeah.
He's locked in on, the iPad or the phone at home, streaming it somehow. And what I do, Mike, was different than what my dad did. My dad, as you know, being that anchor at KRLD for all those years, he always wanted to be a play-by-play announcer. That was his love.
Yeah.
It didn't break for him. And so I appreciate it that much more that I've been able to do that. My dad, he talked about it later in life. He was putting stuff together. He wanted to send it to Howie at Westwood One, just to get some feedback, just to see, why not? And, he had the voice, he could absolutely do it. I don't think he ever sent it, and I don't know why. I never got to ask him that, but I love that I have been able to follow this dream, and I know that he's always with me and still cheering me on.
Do you remember the very first game you ever called?
Man. Well, if it wasn't, the first one that pops into my head wasn't actually on the air, and it was actually with my dad. I remember in high school, the boys basketball team from my high school had a playoff game, and we just did a tape of it in the stands. He did color, and I called the game, and it was absolutely awful. I'd cringe if I heard it today, of course.
Do you still have it?
We talked about it later. I think I do.
Well, guess what?
Hey,
No.
Well, yeah, that's right. Shoopy said, guess what? We found it. But man, I did. There were times after that where I did games with my dad when he was doing some high school football with the Texas State Network, and of course KRLD, a part of that. TSN had a high school football package in the playoffs, and he would always wonder how many stations actually cleared these games. But I remember joining him on a few when I was still in college and fresh out of there. That was a joy. He got to do it at that level. He always wanted more, but man, he loved doing games when he got that opportunity.
Yeah. Well, like I say, he was very high on you back then. I mean, every time I would run into him as you were starting to, I guess this is about that time that you're talking about here.
Yeah.
I'd always hear about my boy Teddy. My boy Teddy is really coming along. He's a fast riser. What were you doing right before ESPN?
I was working for the ESPN radio affiliate here in Dallas, 103.3 FM. The signal is no longer ESPN radio affiliated. It was sold. I really don't know what it is now. But man, what a training ground that was, fresh out of high school, and first in Las Colinas when it was owned and operated by ESPN, and you had the likes of Galloway, and you had Ian Fitzsimmons and so on and so forth, and Ben and Skin as well. And I was a jack of all trades. I was part-time. Frito hired me. I was part-time. I'd be doing a Sports Center update shift one day. I'd fill in producing a show the next. I would host a show on a Saturday morning or a Sunday afternoon, whatever it may be. And you're training.
Yeah.
You're putting your hours in.
Yeah.
And
by the way, Frito, of course, the great Mark Friedman.
Yes. Absolutely.
Good friend of all of us.
God rest his soul.
Who is no longer with us.
Man, and someone else who was so good to me. That was my first real job out of college. And no, again, you're not being hired. Oh yeah, you're hosting Drive Time. No, you're paying your dues, and and all the while you're getting to know people who are now my best friends, because you're in the thick of it. People like Landry Locker and Jared Sandler. We were part-timers together and working together on these shows and projects, covering games. Yeah. Going out in the field.
Sure.
And even doing shows together on the weekend and making our mistakes and, just being awful. But we knew what we wanted to do. And I knew I always wanted to do play-by-play, and that obviously that wasn't going to come to pass at the ESPN radio affiliate. Yeah, there was no connection at all to ESPN on TV, but it was a way to stay versatile, and it gave me that flexibility to do games on the side on a Friday night or a Tuesday night, whatever it may be.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that your name ever got in front of anybody at ESPN on account of that?
They had. I'll tell you the story of how I got hired at ESPN to do games.
Okay, I guess that's what I'm getting around at anyway.
Yeah. No, they had. I'll say this. Whenever I love it when people bring up my dad, because it allows me to go back in time and hear maybe a new story that somebody I'd never heard before, somebody's own interaction with my dad. When I'm at ESPN, people are like, "Are you Doc's kid?" The hockey announcer, Doc Emrich, and a different spelling, mind you. But that people think that's my connection to play-by-play or the business. They had no idea who my dad was. At ESPN, there was one particular executive who handled college basketball at the time in 2015. And I get his email from a mutual friend, and I had not done any TV since I was in college, which really doesn't count. I can't send that tape from however many years ago to ESPN. I was actually filling in for Jared Sandler on the Texas Legends, the G League affiliate of the Mavericks. The games are in Frisco.
Right.
I did 2 games filling in for him while he was at spring training with the Rangers. And I thought it went pretty well. I put together a little reel, a little 10-minute package, if you will, all my best stuff, and I send it off to this guy. I don't know him. I've never met him, the guy at ESPN. And you're thinking,
the proverbial cold call.
What's the worst that can happen? Like, you're not going to get anything back, but you're shooting your shot.
Sure.
And sure enough, I send it around this time in 2015. Don't hear anything until August, when I get a call from a number I don't recognize. I pick up. He says his name. He says, I bet you, I'm so-and-so with ESPN. I bet you didn't expect to hear from me. And I say, well, that's an understatement. What can I do for you? What's going on? And he says, I really liked your tape. How would you like to work for ESPN? And that's how it started. College basketball, then adding the college football a few years later. And I've been very fortunate and blessed.
Now, see, that's the way they tell us it's supposed to work. And most of the time, for most people, most guys, it's nothing like that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's all kinds of things that intercede, people that intervene between point A and point B. There are things that get in the way. It's a very circuitous route a lot of the time. But
of course,
man, that's textbook there.
It's the call that you dream of. I could have never pictured that. And, listen, once you get that, okay, now you better deliver. So you got the foot in the door. Can you stay in the room after that? And I've been very fortunate. There are so many wonderful people who do work there, and I've learned so much. And, speaking of cringing and looking back, I'm sure I would. Though that first season of games that I was doing, I would just melt. I would want to crawl into a hole if I watched clips of those games back then compared to what I do now.
Most of us would think it was flawless.
Yeah, right. I'm sure. No, I'm very blessed.
It's a heck of a story, just because from the standpoint of working like they tell us it's going to work, and when you're in school and everything.
Yeah, you just send your stuff out.
Tape and maybe you'll get a call.
Yeah. Oh, that's the thing. I mean, fresh out of college, when I'm doing that, and everybody either they don't respond, or it's, we'll keep it for our files.
Yes.
Thanks for reaching out. I got nothing.
Yes.
I got absolutely nothing.
Keep us apprised of your travels and stuff like that.
Exactly. Yeah. Hey, check back in a year.
Yeah.
Or something. And I land at 103.3, again, just looking for a gig. You're parceling out your employment. Okay, I know I've got this high school football gig that pays this amount, and I'm engineering and doing the play-by-play. But what is something that is stable that I can count on for X number of hours for the week? And Frito reached out and said, how would you like to come over here and part-time and do a little bit of everything? And man, that was great at that time.
What kind of kid were you in school? I mean, were you a real social kid, or?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't.
Were you popular and everything?
Fun to do bad things.
Yeah, I love doing bad things, groups. Man, I mean, I don't know, Mike. It's weird to even answer that question. Were you popular? I felt like and consider the situation. I'm sorry, I'm knocking off your.
That's okay.
Very nice CBD. So I keep knocking into it. I'm sorry about that. My high school, I went to my parents sent me to a private high school, a Christian high school, and it was small.
Mm-hmm.
A graduating class in 93, and in 2005, that was the biggest graduating class on record at this high school at Dallas Christian. I got along with everybody, but you're talking about a very small group. It's even there. I'm sure there were cliques like there. I joined that school middle of my freshman year when my previous school closed down because of embezzlement. That's a whole nother story.
Oh,
no. So I go to this other school for the last 3.5 years, and most of those kids, they'd been together since kindergarten.
Yeah.
And, on one hand, he's going to be tough to break in. Everybody was really nice. And I don't know if I ever found, that one group of 2 or 3 people or whatever, that's yours, that's my people. But I got along with everybody, and yeah, it was a good experience for the most part. Yeah.
Do you remember the first time you were ever at a game or an ESPN function where there are a lot of, there are more notable personalities and more notable people around?
Oh man, I remember meeting Lee Corso once when my dad took me along to the Davy O'Brien award ceremony or media function, whatever it may be, and pretty sure you guys would go out to that on occasion.
We did,
and interview the winner or the guy who's going to be whoever's a part of that ceremony. And I tagged along with my dad. This just sticks out, and I don't know. I got the courage somehow, and I went up to Lee Corso. Super embarrassing to say now, but I went up to him and I said, "You deserve an ESPY." It was like, again, I'm a little kid at the time, and Lee Corso looks down at me. I think he patted me on the head, and he says, "You watch ESPN, kid? Good for you." Just put you in your place. Now, run along, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I felt sometimes when I tag along with my dad and I'd see you and, guys at the ticket at Ranger games or whatever. And it's like, oh my God, that's Mike Rhyner, because we'd listen in the car and all of that. And man,
I still do
that's
that.
kind of how I'm sure. Yes.
Oh my
Yes.
God, it's Shoopy.
Oh.
Again.
He's here.
I'm in his house.
I'm in the house.
Yeah, here we are in the house. So, how'd you get hooked up with the Masters?
Oh, man. It makes zero sense because I didn't even play golf. When and yes, the answer is the bug has bitten me and I've started to pick it up a little bit. But when I was assigned to the Masters by Westwood One, I'd never picked up a club. I barely knew anything about golf, seriously. And I was doing a little bit here, a little bit there, the college football, some involvement with March Madness, regular season games. Mm-hmm. And they asked me, would you be interested in being part of our crew for the Masters? And I think the answer to that has to be yes, no matter your feelings about golf or anything like that. And I hope I'm a quick study and, you pick it up. And man, that's been incredible because, 10 years now and going there. And I'm curious to compare notes with your trip there. What was it, 2016 that you and the guys got to go? Right. And I have to think, both my own experience and then what I see from new crew members when they get to go for the first time, just slack-jawed amazement. And I can't believe I'm here. What was it like for you? It's like, oh, this is it?
Well, I'm not a real big golf guy, but it is indeed all they say it is. Yeah. I mean, you talk about a place that has an aura. Some things in this world, some people in this world, some places in this world just have a certain something about them. You can't describe it. You can't put your finger on it. That place has that.
Yes, and they work year-round to ensure that that's how it is for that 1 week every single year.
Yeah.
The money that they spend, to make sure that the azaleas are in bloom.
Yes.
That this is in the right condition across the board. I feel like they take nail clippers out to trim the grass, all the same length.
That's about the size. And you don't have to be a golf guy to pick up on that either.
Yeah.
Just the average spare guy, anybody can go down there and I don't know how easy it is to get on the grounds, but if you can, just walk around and you'll see why people make such a thing out of it.
Yeah, it's a religious experience for a lot of people who are there for the first time, if they are into golf. That is Mecca, that is the destination. And, just getting a chance to, what I do there with the leaderboard updates that are on Westwood One for all their affiliates, including the ticket. Starting Thursday, I'm locked in. I'm at the media center, and I'm not. It's not like I'm stationed at a hole. I'm not in a tower or any on the course. I'm at the media center, and it's very much like a studio environment at that point.
Yeah.
And at times, you ask yourself, could I be doing this anywhere? So what makes it special for me is getting out on a Tuesday, on a Wednesday, where, don't know if you knew this, but we know that everything is going back in time, from the concession prices to the lack of technology, no cell phones allowed. If they catch you with one, you're getting kicked out. Your credential is getting revoked. But before the tournament begins on Thursday, you can bring an actual camera, be it a Polaroid, be it a digital camera, whatever it is, and take pictures. And there is something about that old school feel.
Yeah.
Camera around your neck, and I do it every year. And even just taking shots of the scenery, and of course, whoever I'm with, we pass it around. Hey, make sure and get everybody their picture, at Amen Corner or at, whatever background they would like. That's what makes it fun, getting out to experience that before the tournament starts.
But they don't let you take pictures on your phone?
No.
That day?
No.
Wow.
No.
That's pretty dug in.
So Jim Nance, I have seen this. Nance you'll see, if you see him, say at the giant oak tree that's just beyond the first tee box, and this is where a lot of people congregate, where all the big golf guys, whether it's players, agents, broadcasters, his phone will be out, but there's a sticker on it. He gets a sticker. Only a select few get the sticker on the phone. Yes, he's allowed. Nobody else.
Is the sticker a little Pokemon?
Yeah. Got to catch them all. Yeah. There you go.
All right. This is the great Ted Emrich with us here today on Your Dark Companion. And now, Ted, you're in luck.
Okay.
Because it is time for the mid-roll read.
All right. Let's go.
What if I told you you could free yourself of pain, anxiety, and sleepless nights? And what if you could do it naturally? Would you like that? I'll bet you would. At the CBD House of Healing, it is a women-owned CBD boutique. They would like to help. They can help. They carry only products from their lab made to meet the highest quality and purity standards. Their owner, also an RN, emphasizes building trusted relationships through education. Giving you the knowledge to care for yourself is their ultimate goal. Find your relief from the aches and pains, the emotional stress and drain, and sleep again. How does that sound? Does that sound nice to you?
Delightful.
Go to cbddallas.com. They're at 8550 Plano Road, and Northwest Highway in the northeast quadrant of that burgeoning intersection. That is in Dallas. Begin your healing at the House of Healing. Is there more here?
Hell yeah, there is.
All right. Take two in 3, 2, 1. Clyde Warren Park is hosting Cover to Cover, 2 stages, 8 bands, with the headliner, Petty Theft.
Let's
go.
go.
That is Saturday.
Let's go.
The 31st of May. We're going to be rocking out there with complimentary wine tastings, a boho market, and casino-style gaming. Mikosina's Cash Bar and food trucks are going to keep you dancing. All of this for $35. Or, this is a go big or go home world. And if you want to go big, VIP tickets include an open bar, Mikosina catering, and exclusive activities in the shaded comfort of the VIP area. So grab a friend for the day. VIP tickets for $125. Kick off the summer with the only all-day music festival in the heart of Dallas. The 31st of May, 1 to 7:30, Cover to Cover, brought to you by Choctaw Casino Resort and Durant. Go to www.clydewarrenpark.org for tickets.
You nailed that, Reed.
That was
Satisfactory?
awesome. That was
Nailed it.
sublime.
Perfect. Amazing.
Okay.
So good.
I get so uptight with that. I gotta recuperate.
Yeah, take a
here
breath.
for
Yeah.
just a
There
Ted,
you go.
I
Take a
have a
sip.
question.
Yeah.
Talking about the Masters, you pretty quickly into doing it, as far as I know, started adding in ticket bits.
Yeah.
How did you, I guess, figure out that you had some ability to throw that in without ruining the updates for all the affiliates that
Right.
aren't the ticket?
Right.
And just how much of it was basically being put up to it, or were you just like, screw it, I'm at the Masters, I'm going to have some fun?
I laugh when I've seen some comments on social media. One guy one year said he absolutely does a different update for the ticket compared to every other affiliate, however many hundreds that there are for Masters Week on Westwood One. Yeah, it was, was it 2019, maybe 2018? And I was getting to know Dan a little bit, and, they started to have me on there middays, and I just thought, it just came to me. It's not like, this is what I'm going into.
Right.
I got to do this. Somebody shot a 3 under 69, and we know how much Dan McDowell loves 69s.
We do.
Who doesn't? And I just threw,
Nobody like him,
just
that's for sure.
Yeah.
I just threw in very nice.
Yeah.
I guess
It's
that was
subtle
a
enough
thing.
and all that.
And
yeah.
I heard through back channels and also following up, listening to the podcast feed. You couldn't listen live, but they paid attention to it. Okay, what can we do here? And I've always tried to keep it subtle. I never want it to come across as forcing the issue and shoehorning it in there. And if it works, it works. If I don't think of something, I'm not going to do it. So I don't do it every update.
Right.
I don't think that would be smart, doing it just to do it. But yeah,
If you have a shot, you got to take it.
Yeah, that's right. Trying to match it somewhat with the day part and the personalities that are on the air at that time, so that they can have fun with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I trust me. I wonder every year, hey, has it run its course? But if I'm not entertained by it, then I'm done. If they start to present new material,
They generally do.
and they generally do, then I keep doing it. But yeah, it's not going to be every update.
No, and I don't want to imply that it is.
Yeah.
But I was pretty sure that you weren't doing separate updates, because that's not how Westwood One really works.
No.
But yeah, I just know that that's been a pretty long running bit, and I respect that you've kept it going for so long, because bits are fun.
Bits,
right.
Bits are so much fun.
And you got to entertain yourself.
Yes.
First and
Yes.
foremost, entertain yourself. If you don't think it's funny or you're not entertained by it, nobody else will be
Who
either.
else? That's right. Yeah, that's how it has to be. And it's not just doing updates, it's doing play-by-play. You come up with a line, you think of something during a break, what's funny or interesting to me, hopefully the audience at home will find it the same way.
That's the idea. That's the whole idea. So, what is the high point for you? What's it been so far? I mean, I know you've seen a lot, know you've done a lot already at this very young age that you're at, and you're really, compared to a lot of guys, still kind of a newbie at this.
Yes, absolutely. Gosh, I have so far to go. That's a thing about it, and we know just the nature of anybody who does play-by-play. Your prime years are way down the road.
Yeah.
And that you see all of these legends with the longevity in their careers. Just think locally, whether it is Eric Nadel or Brad Sham, so on and so forth.
Right.
I mean, even someone like Mark Followell and Chuck Cooperstein, younger certainly, but they've been at it for so long, and at the peak of their powers, and they still have so much to give. And, any fan base here is so lucky to have all of those voices. For me, you actually mentioned your rundown from the ESPN press room. I love that you printed it out even. Isn't that hilarious how, by the way, I got a photo shoot and everything that we did this year, in fact. It was the 2016 Olympics. And this is just something that you would never imagine that you would be a part of. I didn't growing up. It's very much like the Masters. They ask, they have the rights to it. Hey, can you be a part of this? Yes, absolutely. What can I do?
Yeah.
What would you like? And so I was on the team for the London and the Sochi Olympics, and it's a little bit of everything. It's 4-man bobsled here, or weightlifting, or judo, or beach volleyball, which is a lot of fun. But they told me in preparation for the Rio Olympics in 2016, we want you to handle all of the track and field. And it's like, okay, we're talking about the signature event, one of them, up there with, of course, Team USA basketball or gymnastics or anything like that. But then you think about it, and it's like, oh my God, it's track and field on the radio. What does that even sound like? What do I do? There's no template. And that's also the fun of it, creating something like that. And I got the chance to work with former U.S. Olympian Carol Lewis, the sister of the great Carl Lewis.
Yeah.
And Carol has been in media and on TV for so many years around USA track and field and the Olympics, whether NBC, CBS, whoever's had the rights at the time. Terrific partner. She knows everything so well, from both the track events, the sprinter events, the field, all of that, and could talk so knowledgeably and be entertaining as well. And we got our system, right? For when Usain Bolt loads into the blocks for the 100 meters and everybody is going silent. Like there are very few feelings that I have had in my young career that are like that. Just that anticipation, that buzz in that stadium, that Usain Bolt can come out and he can put his finger to his mouth as everyone is going wild, and then it goes quiet for him as his picture is on the screen. Like the magnetism, the charisma. It's like, oh, that's right. I'm here. I'm calling this. I'm not just experiencing this. And now you're just trying to do it justice. And that race is gone in a flash. We're talking about 9 seconds. How do you do that? How do you describe that? You try to pick it up as best you can. And I'm so glad that they were happy with it. The folks at Westwood One, it went well. I was happy with it. Again, it's something that you have one shot at. Yeah. And that race is done.
And you had nobody to coach you up ahead of time on any of the vernacular or anything? Or
you talk with people, certainly, and yeah, you do your research as best you can.
Yeah.
But it's to my point about there being no template. It's not like, okay, I'm getting ready to do a football game and I can listen to those voices I mentioned earlier, a Kevin Harlan doing the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Kevin Kugler or Ian Eagle or whoever it may be, whoever you like. Who does track and field on the radio? Nobody does that. Nobody. So I what I remember the most before getting there was just every day, just calling up races on YouTube or whatever, like the 2012 games.
Yeah.
How would I call this? How would I, just the rhythm of it, the 4x100 meter relay, or the 100 meters or the 200 meters, whatever it is, and just trying to get that down. And it's, you think of horse racing and how good somebody like that particular, we hear it at the Kentucky Derby every year, and that guy's incredible. He identifies those horses right away. You have to be on it. So that's step one. And you know what? Going back to whatever sport it is, isn't that step one for anything in play-by-play? It's identification.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're lost. And the listener, the viewer, it will be lost as well if you don't nail that.
I guess you found yourself talking rather fast during that race. I mean, I'm not trying to be
as fast
funny.
as Usain Bolt was.
I'm
but
not trying to be funny there. I mean, you have to, don't you?
Absolutely. And that's the thing. When you watched past races like that, you can't get everything. You can't identify every single person. There are people who are going to lag behind. Somebody's finishing 8th, okay?
Yeah.
Who are we focusing on? Of course, we're focusing on Usain Bolt, and at the time, the greatest hope from the U.S., Justin Gatlin. And I just remember in that race, Gatlin had a terrific start. Okay, can we be on top of that? And good, we got that. You know, Gatlin is away well, got the lead through the first 25, however many meters. And here comes Usain Bolt. And again, it's over just like that.
Yeah.
And you're just trying to pick up those little things, and especially in the celebration and after, to paint that picture. That's what we're doing. It's theater of the mind. When we're doing radio play-by-play, can we pick up those things that will stand out? Not just, here comes Bolt, there goes Bolt, Usain Bolt wins. No, that could have been somebody's call and to be serviceable, and you don't want to be that. Can you identify something else that makes your call stand out in a crowd?
Boy, I'd like to hear that.
I've got it somewhere. Man.
Do you keep a lot of stuff you do?
I do, Mike. I don't love listening to myself. But I have to if I'm going to get better.
Yeah.
I don't like watching my stuff. I fight it at times. I have to, but what I do like is keeping it for posterity.
Yeah.
Just in case. I still build fresh reels every year that I send out. You never feel like you are, I'm good. I'm good now. I'm established in all of that. Okay, I've been with ESPN 10 years. You're always looking into new opportunities that might come about. And to do that, you want to make sure that you have your fresh materials ready to go.
Got to keep up to date.
Yeah, for sure. And I've got, some hard drives with my games and all of that. So I for the Olympics in 2016, they told us, again, with all the logistics of the engineer, getting the equipment there, they told us by the end of it, guys, this is your chance. Like this is your only chance to be able to pull whatever you did from the games. Because once we're done here, this equipment is literally going on a ship over here, over there. There's no master archive that will come from this. We have it here. Take what you want, download it, USB, whatever it may be, and that is how you get it.
We got a little time left here, and I would like to talk about Roger a little bit more, because I can't say I was really close to him, but sometimes as you sit in the press boxes and games are going on down there, you will have some amazing conversations with people. And we didn't really cross paths that often, but every time we did, it was memorable. I mean, every time that I would spend a night out at the ballpark watching the Rangers and Roger would be there.
Was he wearing a Rangers batting helmet at the time? He had that phase.
As a matter of fact, I do remember that.
Okay, good.
I do remember that.
Is it okay to ask why he went through that phase?
So it was one of those giveaways, first 10,000 fans gets a Ranger, with the little plastic interior.
Oh, they were not comfortable.
No, of course not. But my dad, I have no idea why, went through this phase where he was wearing the Rangers batting helmet everywhere like it was a cap.
I thought that was kind of strange, that he would wear them out there. But the more I got to know him, the more I came to understand that's just Roger. That's Roger being Roger.
He's just doing a bit. And for no payoff. It's not like he was, it's not like he had lost a bet at KRLD. And by the way, you got to wear the Rangers giveaway batting helmet for a month. He just did it because.
I respect that. There is nothing wrong with doing bits with no payoff. That's pretty much my whole career.
But he was just such an incredible guy. I mean, he was larger than life. He was a large guy anyway, and he was even larger than that as you got to know him a little bit. Stories, oh my God.
Yes. Yes.
Stories of all kinds involving all kinds of people from all phases of his life. He had one. And I can only imagine what it must have been like to grow up with that.
He never met a stranger.
No, he didn't.
Ever.
Absolutely
Ever.
not.
And the times that I would get to tag along with him to a game, whether it's somebody affiliated with the team, Mavs coach Don Nelson, or it's the usher who's his best friend, it seems like.
Yeah.
It didn't matter. He was as engaging with both.
Yeah.
And
he had a million best friends.
Yes, that's right. And he'd make millions more along the way, whether we're in the auxiliary press box at a Cowboys game, sitting next to Killer and Kelly Webster or whoever else, or he takes me to Ozfest when I'm a kid and we're seeing Godsmack and Rob Zombie and Black Sabbath and, all of that. So we're there at Ozfest and, I'm a kid, right? There's a particular pungent smell in the air.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked my dad, Dad, what is that? You smell that? And he says to me, looks down and says, son, that's the smell of people having a good time.
That's very incredibly Roger.
Man, he loved music, Mike, just like you, and he adored you, and I him. I know that, and I'm, again, we all miss him certainly. I'd love him to be here. Just the stories that you guys could swap back and forth. Forget sports, just music.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, and we did too.
Yes, yeah, you'd fill multiple episodes with that, and again, off the air, the conversations you guys would have. But I mean, again, just going to concerts with him, whether it's Ozfest, whether it's Carlos Santana, we lived at the Starplex, whatever it's called now. We went to so many shows together, and it was so cool. Yes, of course, was he a sports guy? Yeah, absolutely, but and he never played an instrument. That's the funny thing. I don't know if he told you, when he was in the Air Force and stationed in Greece, I
heard a few of these stories.
Okay, yeah. I mean, he loved music so much, without knowing how to play the instrument, he bought out of his own pocket, a cherry sunburst Gibson. I forgot the exact model, so forgive me. But he gets it just because that's what he wanted to be close to it.
Right.
And he eventually sold it because, of course, he didn't know how to play it. But he loved music so much and spinning records and doing all that, man. He had his people both with music and with sports.
Yeah. That's the story of my life too.
Yep.
Yep. Those two things have made my world turn for forever.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
He was a great guy. He was a big personality, and we didn't cross paths out there all that much. But whenever I would go to a game and I would see Roger was there, I would scout out turf very close to him, next to him if I could.
Yeah.
And I would know that no matter what was going on in the game, I was going to be thoroughly entertained.
He was usually working on the stand-up routine at that point.
Throughout the course of the evening, the dialogue between us would be unending, and And I would, like I say, I would be very, very entertained, and I would leave thinking, man, that was fun.
Yeah, so speaking of archives and old tapes and, listening to yourself and all that, after my dad passed away, it was around this time of year, 6 years ago, we're going through the house, back home, right, near, it's the house I grew up in.
Yeah.
And, the emotions of all of that. I find these tubs upon tubs of cassette tapes, many of them unmarked, no label. And I seek out, very easy to find, basically a way to convert cassette tapes to a digital file.
Right.
And so I'm going through all of these, and I'm going through his entire career, Mike. I find stuff from his very first job out of Loyola University in New Orleans when he's working at WCKW in Laplace, Louisiana, River Country. He's a country music DJ by day and doing high school football on Friday nights, right? Doing play-by-play. And just hearing him as a DJ, something that he really never did after that. Again, he went into news and he did sports, but hearing him as a DJ, it's like he could have absolutely crushed this. He could have pursued that even more with his knowledge and personality and all of that. And he's calling himself Earthquake Emrich because everywhere he steps, again, my dad was 400 pounds at one point. And everywhere he steps, there's an earthquake. And it's so, I get a kick out of it when, Junes and George Dunham tell me that that's kind of what he was going by when he was in Denton at KDNT. And when they were students, they interact with my dad. Old Earthquake Emrich, right? I hear him doing Texas Lady Longhorn basketball on KLBJ in Austin when he was the bureau chief there at the state capitol for the Texas State Network. Again, chasing that play-by-play dream and getting to do that on the side for one season. Then he gets the job at KRLD, and I'm combing through these tapes, and he's hosting pregame coverage of Super Bowl 30. When the Cowboys and the Steelers, the last Cowboys Super Bowl. And again, it's on the flagship station. And I had never heard this before. So going through all this and how I wish that he was still here.
And you had no idea.
I had no idea. Had no idea he had that. Had no idea that was there. And it just tucked away, nondescript. Nothing there, nothing that said, Roger Emmerich's tapes, or dates or anything like that. But I'm able to save all of that. And the one that stuck out to me, something that registered because I actually heard it live when I was a kid. My dad was so fired up to interview Jim Brown when he was honored by the Cotton Bowl. The Cotton Bowl has their Hall of Fame, and for the one game that Jim Brown played as a member of Syracuse, of course, and what a game it was, he was inducted into the Cotton Bowl Hall of Fame. And my dad didn't get the time that you would have gotten if you'd ever gotten Jim Brown on the air, if he actually cared about it.
Yeah.
I love that story that you tell about Jim Brown. Not thinking about that right now. But he didn't get him on for, a 15, 20-minute segment or anything like that. He got him on, get this, during the length of a sportscast on KRLD, 15 and 45 past the hour at the time. So we're talking 90 seconds, 2 minutes, maybe. He asked him 3 questions, and they were really good questions. And Jim Brown, to his credit, was actually engaged. But I remember the lead up to it, how excited my dad, again, this is a hero of his youth, and getting a chance to do that interview and fit it into the sportscast, and it was live too, in studio. Man, those tapes, his memory lives on for many reasons. We don't need the tapes for that, but I'm so thankful that he kept those so that I can have that now.
So cool.
Yeah.
So cool, but I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was the type who thought that far down the road, but he probably just thought, Teddy may like these someday.
Yeah, maybe.
So hang on to them.
absolutely will. And I, like I said, digitize them, and now they'll absolutely live on.
Excellent, as they should.
Yeah.
Because for those of us who knew him, his memory lives on. And like I've told you before, numerous times, I miss him to this day.
Yeah.
Because he was just that much of a memorable figure. You're carrying on the legacy, though, man.
I appreciate that, Mike. That means the world to me. I'm so proud to be his son. It can be. I'll be honest with you. Like at first, when I was trying to make my way in this in my own way and going down that play-by-play track, this is what I want to do. I would bristle at times when I would hear about, boy, chip off the old block. And it's because I was interpreting it the wrong way. You're so focused on, I want to be my own person.
Yeah.
I want to be, I want to make my own name. And now anytime my dad's name is brought up, it's a celebration. Yeah, you damn right. I'm continuing that legacy. And, people can view that however they want. Again,
in your case, chip off the old block is about the highest form of praise you can get.
Absolutely. Of course. And, as you continue to mature, like I hope I have and continue to do, you see that. And now I appreciate it that much more that I have that last name. You damn right, Emrich. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Aren't you Roger's kid? Kid, people at ESPN. Are you Doc's kid? No, I'm Roger's kid. Let me tell you about him.
You're the aftershock.
Yeah.
Well, Ted Emrich, it has been great having you in here today, man. I cannot thank you enough for doing this, and you're a hell of a talent, a hell of a guy, and I know your dad is up there somewhere looking down on this and looking around at everybody and saying, "That's my boy Teddy."
Man, he would love this setup that you have here. That's for sure. He would love it, Mike. It's such a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me on.
Thank you for doing it. All right, there he is, the great Ted Emrich, everybody. We got a little bit more business to attend to here, so let me do that. This Thursday, the 29th of May, at the Longhorn Ballroom, join us on the purple carpet for Eric Nadell's birthday benefit. It's presented by Haynes Boone, benefiting Grant Halliburton Foundation. Shiny Ribs and the Secret Sisters are performing. Doors open at 6:30. The show is at 7:30. Tickets are available at www.granthalliburton.org/Eric Nadell, where you can also check out the silent auction, which is, by the way, open right now. Remember, you can find all episodes of YDC on our Patreon page. You can also find us on YouTube and Spotify. So listen, follow, share us on your social media. That means everything to those of us who swim in the waters of the podcast. And while we're at it, if you're feeling what we're throwing down, how about a nice review? If you're by the channel on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, you can help others find us by leaving a review. Thank you very much for watching, for listening, no matter where, when, or how you may be consuming this podcast. See you next time.
All right. I'm gonna go take my pants off.
Your Dark Companion is a Stolen Water Media presentation.